Hello and welcome back to another episode on the Corn King channel. It's your girl down the Crypto TA. I'm back at it again because it's boring. It's a Saturday. It's supposed to be Memorial Day weekend, but it's raining outside. I just made it back home to take another glance at the chart, and I see we got some Bitcoin shenanigans going on right about now. All right, so broken this momentum to the downside here, but given how high we went here on the RSI, it may want to dance around in here a little bit. Possible that they want to take this liquidity from this high, which is pushing through this VWAP right here. But this has been a common rejection zone um, uh, throughout the end of before the weekend. Yeah, this week. So in the later parts of the week, this has been a resistance area right here for price action. We got below our level here earlier this morning when I did the video. Like I said, I would treat anything that comes in here as a scalp, and I would be looking for a short and for continuation to the downside. Um, Everything looks like it's rolling over right here. I don't like the 4 hour. I don't really see Bitcoin having a meaningful bounce until we get past the weekend. That's my thorough take on it. Only when we get past the weekend can I really say that. I did play my strat right here. So after I ended my stream, I told you that if one thing I would do, hold on, let me come back over here with this. You already saw that momentum break right here. But like I said, given this candle over here, we have to come down just as fast as we went up. Otherwise, we're chopping here a little bit. Potentially, they may want to try to take that liquidity at the high, but I'd be very careful in here. Pushing over here to the 1 hour time frame here, you can see how we had the swing failure right here against this high over here. We know that price action is nowhere near that. So, right now, at least until we get into next week, I'm a little bearish about any of the moves that we get in here. Earlier today, we saw us dancing around this area down in here, but there is no bullish divergence right here. I think the only place that may have shown some bullish divergence was down here off of the CC. That's the only place that showed a little bit of bullish divergence. But given the gravity of how fast we move down, this is just not in my wheelhouse right here, like this. But I did mention that, breaking this line right here, that could get me in for a scalp position, and I did take the scalp, but I used my strat, which is Bollinger Band strat breakout. When the CC gets around the top and the RSI around the mean, I'll enter with the hopes that price action can get the bounce. And the only thing else that I looked at prior to doing that was right here. If I can get your attention right here, because squeeze for Bitcoin was right in here, and then you can see how we started to put in a nose right here. No, right here. It's right here. It looks different on Blowfin chart. It looks a little bit thinner. Let me see. Yeah. So on Blowfin chart, you can see how it looks like a clean doji right here. So as we started to put in that Bollinger squeeze right in here, I caught eye on this doji candle right here. So I took my entry off of the next candle because it looked like some indecision was happening here to the downside. And like I said, I'll play my strategy where the RSI would get around the mean, and then the CC will be around the top, and that gives me an indication of a probability that price is going to break to the upside on that Bollinger Band, and it's worth me getting into, so I'm not sitting around here dealing with a whole bunch of chop. So if you look here, you'll see that squeeze that we got, and I've showed you this a few times. It's a good setup. It's going to get around this top, and again, the RSI is going to be around its midpoint, and then that's going to lead to this breakout to the upside. So I did catch that. I didn't expect for price to even get as high as it got. I really didn't. And I've been away from home today as well. So that's just me catching that breakout here. paying attention to that little indecision candle right there, and like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and enter this. Right, you can see what the price point is for my entry is for that strategy play on Bitcoin. I'm bearish around where we are, of course. I just got off the road and got in here. Haven't even got settled down too good, and decided to jump on the stream. So I just took another TP off of that, and the rest is set for break even. Just in case they decide they want to take the highs. If we were to take the high, which doesn't look likely, but if we were to take the high, then and when I say high, I'm talking about this liquidity right through here. Then I close the entire thing out. Again, I showed you that swing fail. Trend line break to the upside. That VWAP of rejection right there. And then here, we saw the momentum thing in here, and I told you I don't care about this. I really don't, because whatever happens in here, price action on the 4-hour time frame is still below the 200 and the 400 EMA, and all of that is rolling to the downside. So it's just not going to have as much weight. We're going to end up putting in some bearish divs in here regardless of that, and regardless of me seeing the one here on the daily time frame against this low, even though I know price momentum is not nearly, it moved too fast to meet this. Price action and momentum are not agreeing with this right here. And it's usually a strategy that I play. It's my most famous strategy that I play, but no. Here, I was looking for a couple of places in terms of where we might stop out at. And then if that liquidity right here gets taken, somewhere right here about 78,415. Thank goodness I was busy doing a job today. Otherwise, I probably would have closed out a lot more of the position even earlier. But I did TP one. I think it was right here, and then the second TP was right here, and then just recently I didn't get a chance to TP that. Just recently I TP'd right through here on that pullback. So I'm gonna leave those in here. Still within our 382 50% retracement level. But in terms of this, like I've mentioned, I really don't know how to classify this. I don't know if I were to do a one here, a two here, three here, four here, five here. It just doesn't make sense to me. If it doesn't look right for me, I don't even try to justify it. It just doesn't look right for me, even though this part right here, it's kind of scapegoated a 382 Fibonacci retracement in here, which it makes it bearish on the drop down. And all of this right here, let me show you what we still look like on those ribbons, because this just looks crazy as crap. It looks really, really crazy. Now you see this? Do you see this? What are the chances of this being successful? It looks a hot mess. This looks a hot mess. So is this just a holiday thing? I mean, like low liquidity, not enough liquidity to get this right here. Even on this inside range or tweets or bottom, whatever you want to call it, right here. Even right here. Let me change that to a base. Even right here, we got that sweep of liquidity off of this mother bar over here. So even at this point, I just didn't really see. I don't know. It's all questionable. This is messy. This is messy, and definitely if I'd have been here, I would have caught the short on that. So if we dance around in here a little bit more, then I will consider opening a new short. I will consider opening a new short. This looks crazy. This looks absolutely crazy. That's your 200 right here. The yellow is your 200. That's your 400 right here. This was the only area where if we had held it through here, it would have made sense. But right now, right through here, this looks messy. And again, continuation to the downside. That's what I see with it. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this trend line right here. It didn't have a lot of weight, at least not from this time frame right here. Um, on the 1 hour, if you look at it, you can see how it did have weight. It was one of our first areas of interest on the pullback was to check this trend line right here to hold that support, and then of course we had the VWAP, the second VWAP from the lows that did tap into here, and then we just saw a basic rejection from there. Rollover, came back up, rejection, dance on top of it, and now this. But yeah, this will dance a little bit on that breakdown. And then look at this. Like we came all the way back into, like, it's just funny just looking at it like this. We really didn't get the reaction, the initial reaction from taking the liquidity right here. We really didn't get it. So I'm still interested. If I got it dashed out again, if it's dashed out, it's my areas of interest. I want to take this one off the table. I really do want to take this one off the table. For now, this is kind of low, I guess. I was looking at it earlier. It is an area of interest though. You would have the golden pocket sitting in here as well, if what I'm right about on the daily time frame. Um, which I can see the daily trying to hold like this low on momentum down. I mean, not just right here, not just right here, but right here as well. So if we still haven't come, broken back in here, but I can see it holding like this. Let me put this one on right here. So you can see how that curved underneath the bottom of the indicator right there. I call it a grave digger, the same way I call the ones at the top cloud covers. Um, they can work out very well, but it's a weekend. You can see like over here. Here's another good example. See how it curves up under it, and then it'll give price action a boost to the upside. But something more important to me, I want to see come down, cool off in here before we have a meaningful, I'm gonna say it again, a meaningful bounce from this daily time frame. Because in my opinion, it's just not there yet. It's coming. It's coming. Definitely a meaningful bounce is coming. I just don't. Oof. Scary thought. Scary thought. MACD crossed below zero. Also, when we was getting that move to the downside, MACD crossed below zero. Possible MACD could cross below delta. MACD crosses below delta. Um, it can get messy. It may not get too bad, but if it does, I would be looking. I'm still going to be looking at this area right here. I'm still going to be looking at this. It's 71,336. It's 29,822. I'm still going to be looking at that. Um, it doesn't matter to me if for some reason it breaks the lows down here, as long as price action reclaims back into it. That's the most important thing. 50% retracement is going to come in somewhere around this top side right here. So if we were to see like some bullish divergence on the lower time frames around here, then I'd go back to considering this solid line box. But otherwise, this zone right here for me. But a nice save today, saving grace of that little bit of a bounce in here. Looks like crap. It really looks like crap. I kid you not. It looks like crap. Hyperliquid. We were talking about this too because I have to. I just want to be careful. I know Hyperliquid has been outperforming Bitcoin, but if for some reason Bitcoin just really aggressively, and then we was looking really aggressive, um, really aggressively starts to sell off, then whatever I'm looking at in here, it may not add up. Again, I think that this deserves a little bit more time because of how strong this move to the upside was. If this, if this is going to hold as a way forward without any invalidation right here, this is where I would be looking for it again. As I had it written, drawn out for you, a 382, 50% retracement. On a fourth wave, you can come all the way down to a 618. But if you're bullish and I want to see you hold a 382, personally, I like to see the 382 get held. But definitely don't want to see it below 50 for myself personally. But what I was looking at, the reason why 382 was so important to me was this this closing high right here from the weekly time frame. This closing high right here. But got a perfect little tap on that 382 and it's trying. And if it works out, then you'd be in somewhere in here. You can see that's about a 68, I just say $69 to $74 move. Can it go higher? Absolutely. This is just a golden pocket 786 fib extension right here. Tends to work out pretty well. So if you were drawing this out, you would take it from your wave 1 to your wave 3 to your wave 4 low, if that's the wave 4 low, and you can see it perfectly. I mean, I haven't had to change anything. It was me guessing that if it held somewhere around this 382, that it would come into right here. So far as trying to hold, but that could change. So you may have to drag it a little bit. Who knows? Um, I usually see price action stall out around the golden pocket, though. That's what I generally see. So we'll see. Right now, the bounce is given. We'll see what sort of pattern we're putting in here on Hyperliquid for that continuation to the upside. The other thing was ZEC, which surprisingly did this little inverse head and shoulder down here. I'm not expecting for ZEC to take out this high. I'm expecting for ZEC to have some volatility around this range, which would be naturally given. It got really, really bearish in here on this RSI. No violation of the trend just yet. We were talking about no, actually we weren't talking about that on here. No violation of the uptrend, at least not on this 1 hour time frame so far. We have to come down here and break below this low right now in order to have a change of structure if this maintains as a lower high. I would expect for it to do that. Otherwise, it's going to have some bear divs in here. So, yeah, this one didn't actually come into this golden pocket when I was looking at this as a potential wave 4, because I also considered my weekly level in here as well. So this would just put in some more bearish divergence if that was to happen. Same thing I'm looking at with the triple V's also is if they do start with the shenanigans, then maybe, sorry, I didn't draw that out properly. Maybe they're trying to, maybe it's, a rising structure in here that ends up breaking down, and you'll just see repeated bear divs in here. Maybe 1, 2 more times with that. But I'm calling a top on this personally. That's my feelings on it. This is just noise. Just noise in the chart, in my opinion. It's the weekend. It's easy to do this. It's so easy to make this noise. And I think earlier when I looked at it too, I know it had dropped below the 50 earlier. It wasn't too far off from it, but still, yeah, ever so slightly before getting back above it. Um, you see a daily. All right, so the daily is still trying to hang on to this little trend line of momentum through here, but the big bearish divergence right here. That's the only thing they could do is some shenanigans over the weekend. I most certainly would not take a long off of ZEC. Look for this thing to roll over. I said my first thoughts of an area of interest to the downside will be somewhere around that 449 to 404, and here for Zcash with the outside bar. Really? An outside bar on the daily. Wow. Okay. These moves are trashy. Let's keep it going on the triple V's from the setup. I was looking at I was saying to you, I haven't taken any profit out of this position just yet for the short trade. And I was saying that if you did take that setup that we were discussing on Friday, go ahead and pay yourself. I know I haven't. It's not the end of the world, really. It looks this thing is over. It's overpriced. It's really overpriced. But could see that it was trying to curl to the upside here. Because it was chopping around here. So I could see that it was trying to curve to the upside, and I would expect for it to do that also. This has been a popping point for it. Drop down below this trend line right here just a little bit and start to hold and pop up. I'm looking for, again, with this formation here to the upside, I would be looking for price action, which is why it stops right here to take out this low. If it does more than that, then that's fabulous. But I'm looking for all of this bearish drive to the upside right here to be taken out. And you can see how we did come into that golden pocket here, just in case that was, what it was. Let me see on the 4-hour time frame. We did break that momentum here on the 4-hour. You can see the little back test right there. So I really want to see this thing reject. We've already broken that momentum, and then the little back test of that momentum breakdown, and then it looked like we're trying to flag or something right there though. So keep an eye on that. If you are in this trade setup. This was the other beautiful thing about it. I was looking for the possibility of the head and shoulder, which is why I thought that this was going to be a good short. I really didn't pay. I saw it here on the RSI, but I was really liking the one on the CC because it looks, the structure on it just looks a little tighter for the bearish drives, trying to get that push up in here. And I would expect for this candle to hold some weight, like I said earlier this morning. Like, I don't see these V's getting the triple V getting this bearish freaking candle right here, and then all of a sudden we just go back up and we take that out. It looks very similar to this one over here. Very similar to this one over here. I want to see this thing just eat some dust. To be honest with you, it's very overpriced. I really fear people who are longing this right now. Like, when it was all the way down here, okay, sure, great, fine, but like, this thing has, look at this monthly candle. Now this asset, let's hide these drawings. Look at this. Come on, man. About 100, and I just round this number up, $150, 50,000 wallet addresses. Come on, man. I don't care what burning mechanism you have. I don't care what exchange you got listed on. I don't care about any of that. Like these coins that I mean, and then they're there's this whole idea of burning these tokens, but then having an unlimited supply. They have an unlimited supply. Supply. It does. Which means that they can just create more tokens, even though they're, this burning thing is going on, and then this just looks wild. Like, really? Really? What world? I mean, congratulations to anybody who did buy it down here under $1, and then it gets all the way up to $20. Congratulations. But that's garbage. That's garbage. And at some point, you're gonna find out it's garbage because that's crazy. Just don't get caught up, please. I'm trying not to get caught up too. Stop loss to break even on this right here. But I just wanted to come in and talk about Bitcoin with the shenanigans. Yeah, it's straight shenanigans. Straight shenanigans. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and drop this trend line from here too. Price action didn't have any respect for it. No, not any real respect for it. Above previous day low though, still below previous day high. But again, if they do decide they want to try some garbage in here and take that out. Let's see if there was something else in here that was giving. Oh yeah, on that weekly, it didn't pop up. My bad. How do I end up on a monthly chart? Weekly. On the weekly chart, we were talking about how our price action had dropped that level right there below this moving average right here. You can see us trying to straddle onto it again. The only thing I can say positively about this weekly time frame is if I look here, now I consider this to be our break. I explained to you in another video why, even though technically I didn't have a lot to hold on right here, and if I was doing it, I would have been doing it from this pivot right here. Bear div nonetheless, okay? Bearish divergence nonetheless, but I would have been doing it from this one right here. So did we have a swing fail on momentum? Not really. We didn't. But this was my idea of, finding a little spot for the swing fail, but we didn't actually have a swing fail. It would have had to come from here for a legit swing failure here on the RSI. And we're well above that right now. And the other thing is the MACD. MACD still positive. MACD still positive. The delta is the only thing right now that's giving bearish. But if for some reason, if we did, like, we would be full on reversal in my opinion. If we did, we still have that to deal with. But I don't think, I don't know. This still reads corrective as long as MACD is below the zero. It still reads corrective. And then when it comes up, it has to be successful in the move to the upside. So you can see, like, just not considering it until it actually comes above here. Like, it really has to get above here for your runs. And the only time MACD is only crossed above that zero line 6 times. 6 times. So again, if you ever see that, that could be it. That could be it. It's only ever crossed above it 6 times. historically. And 4 out of the 6 times, it was a strong rally. So this was one of them. This is one of those 6 times right here where it was just, that was it. And the same thing applies to the monthly time frame in here. Not on this because you can see it's above the zero, but right here. Sorry about this this junk in here. Um, Ignore this because this is coming from the actually don't ignore that. Let me just put this on the weekly time frame. Fairly speaking, this was supposed to be the low on the momentum. This was supposed to be the low. Just like prior times, low. And I think I only marked out those 4 right there. But it was supposed to be the low. Um, I'm not going to go through and try to mark them out anymore, but actually it was supposed to be a low right here for the weekly time frame. But on the monthly, again, yeah, I mean, it's again, it could be a floor, but I know that there are some other things to consider in here too. Only if this candle right now is not looking great. It's the 23rd. We only have a few days left in this month. We would have to close above 50. We don't close above 50, then yeah, that continued downside will take place. And what I know I'll be looking for, even though we swung this one right here, we swung this one right here. We swung it before and up, and swung it before and up, and of course that's where you start out with finding where your balance is through here. So but like I said, we gotta close above here. So we'll see how these shenanigans go. If next week can really give us what I'm thinking is going to happen on the daily, then we might have something different. Because never in the past has it closed above 50 and you got a new low. It's never closed above 50 and put in a new low after that. So that's what the yellow markers in here are for, is whenever it crossed above 50. Close, not cross, I'm sorry, but close, has a close above here. So in the next couple of days, if we do close above here, then consider that your low. If not the low, then I'll be watching on momentum for us to come down this low. Maybe we could chop that one again and come back up, but I'm going to watch this one right here and look for us to recover above this. And then that's going to be it. That'll be it. Like if it does that, I don't care about the rest of history where Bitcoin is normally does. I don't care about it. I almost don't care about it here because we did that. I almost don't care about it here, but I know that it requires a closure above 50. But when that happens, yeah, the rest of whatever Bitcoin used to do is out the window for me. Absolutely out the window for me. And just whatever time frame you're using, it's that simple. I'm not time frame, but chart. Whether it's the index or not. Yeah, that made me wanna, let's see, no new lows. And I'm not gonna take you through all of that because I talk about it enough with these shenanigans in here. Like I said, it's just kind of weird for this bounce, and then we come back and SPY gets this breakdown. It's just kind of weird. I mean, it's the weekend, I get it, but like I said, on Thursday's close, Bitcoin stopped tagging along with SPY. SPY went up to fill in the gap, and SPY rejected at that gap fill. Rejected at that gap fill, and now it's coming down. And when we close coming in right here at the ascending momentum line right here, this trend regression line right here. So we start breaking down from this. We'll see if Bitcoin couples back up with SPY at that moment, because I'm really looking towards the middle of the week next week, because I know that traditional markets are going to be closed for Memorial Day on Monday. Traditional markets will be closed, and then Tuesday will become your false move day, where as opposed of it being Monday, it'll be Tuesday, and then Wednesday we'll have Wednesday and Thursday for that meaningful bounce to take place on Bitcoin, and that'll put us at what date? Let me see what that date is. I want to see how many days out will be from. So 27, 28. All right, so it's 31 days in this month. So the weekend, we'll see. But since it had been rolling so tightly with SPY, if SPY is about to, I mean, yeah, it's questionable. Let me move this out of the way so it's not. It was a one-to-one rejection initially, and like I said, that gap fill right here, rejection. I thought Bitcoin was going to fill the gap along with SPY, but SPY did it and Bitcoin didn't. And now SPY looks like it's going to continue to the downside when we open, but that remains to be seen. Right now it's still holding. I don't know what to make of Tether right now. USDT dominance. We did get the break above here. We did get that break above. Now we're dealing with this the lower ascending trend line right here. So now we're dealing with this one from the Broadening formation right now. So all of this is a resistance zone for it. All of this. Initially we pushed up into these crosshairs right here and rejected off of the lows in here. I don't know what to make of it right now. What I have, of course, because they're inversely correlated, is when I look at QTD, which looks complete opposite. Like this opened up for a bearish move down, but you can see how where it happened right here, we didn't get the follow through. That was the thing on Bitcoin that had me, short-term bullish on Bitcoin. I'm really in the middle of I don't know camp right now. I don't know. I'm still looking for something, but I really don't know right now, and I want to be as honest as I can be. Usually when this happens, price action rolls over, and it's the opposite. Like I said, it's the opposite on Bitcoin, and that usually pumps price to the upside, and it just did not follow through. So I've gotten some mixed signals in here off of that. So this is what we look like on Bitcoins. Like it's like this, which tends to be where you see a huge move happen on the daily. But you can tell we didn't get the follow through because you see that white line just hanging out in here, hanging out around the top side, just hanging out in here. I can see that swing fail right there on it at that top right there. That line usually comes out of the other side, and then that flushes price action to the downside. And like I said, the opposite would be true for Bitcoin. And this bearish pattern right here that we're not seeing the follow through on too. When we got this breakdown, you know, it stalled out, and now we're attempting to reclaim back inside of it. I'm not trying to let this little flaggy thing confuse me. I'm just not. Even though you can see of course, quotation bear flag on Bitcoin, I just don't think it's a bear flag anymore. But um, it's still a rising formation, so it's still bearish. Contextually, it's still bearish. So let me just do the opposite show in here. I'm gonna delete this because that's not needed anymore. You see the opposite here on Bitcoin. This sets up for straight bullish divergence is what this does for it. And then, you know, like I shared with you, as soon as this started happening, we started squeezing more to the upside, but we never got to follow through where this actually comes out the other end and pushes to the upside. We never got that. So if it does happen, yeah, the low would definitely be in. But it's between here, dash area right here at the top side of this dynamic cloud, and the dash area down here around the low. Because if for some reason it wants to do the opposite, then cool. This is what I was looking for Tether to do. Now you can see right in here, like where I mean how the follow through works. When this gaps up like this, it's bearish. Over here, we did not initially get the follow through on Bitcoin, and then it came. And when it comes, it comes, and then you know, I roll over. But we did not initially, not right there. This is what Bitcoin is supposed to be doing when it does that. This is the opposite again. When it rises up like this, like it's a continuation. Like it's showing that there is a lot of selling pressure in here, and get out of the way. You gotta have an eye for it. I think I'm gonna leave it at that one because if I keep rolling through here, we'll be rolling through here for a minute. But it insinuates a lot of buying pressure. Is what it insinuates. But for some reason, it's not. It never got the follow through. It never got the follow through. But like I said, prices continue higher because it does this bullish divergence thing where it's just showing underlying strength in here. So you can see the difference between the oscillator and price action. But we'll see. We'll see. I just wanted to kill a little bit of time. Tell you don't be in here trying to buy up. This little pump in here, this weekend stuff is wilding right now. It's really wild right now. I will be back on in the morning if I see something else crazy in here happening. Whether it's Bitcoin or whether it's these triple V's in here trying to give me a hard time with my little trade, or yeah, Zcash might have just moved along with Bitcoin and that was it. Let me see how clean this is. Oh no, let me just do that. Just wanted to see how clean. Just in case. I hope this is successful. I'm not in this, but I really do hope that I hope that it can be successful for anybody who is in it. I I I, I know. Oh, let me say this too. On that virtuals long, I need to look back at that too. Oh yeah, so let me do that. Let me do that because I thought about it this morning. Like I didn't talk about it anymore. Um, Hold on, let me go to the 4 hour because the 4 hour chart is what we was going off of. So the virtuals long was talked about in here. We had the inverse head and shoulder and the move to the upside. When this happened right here, I went ahead and closed out. I'm happy to see that it did decide it wanted to bounce back up, but after when Bitcoin started rolling over, virtuals was trailing too closely with Bitcoin. Like it's you know Bitcoin dominance. It was taking it along with it, and whatever Bitcoin does, altcoins will do 10 time fold. So I'm no longer in this, but I'm happy to see that it did get another little bounce back up here. It had so much bullish divergence through here. It just made sense for it. But if you were in it, you did get a nice little pop to the upside, but no change of market structure. Well, not right there anyway. Not right there. I still, I mean, it held it like a champ. Good. But nah, 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 nah. And some of the other ones that were in here that we were looking at, I'm still holding my AVAX. I'm not letting that one go because it's about more than just the 4 hour. Like this is for weekly, monthly AVAX. Did I pass it? No, it's right here. Still holding my AVAX. I did go into a negative gain on this with that Bitcoin move. But like we were talking about, like so many of them tried to get that breakout right here, and then they just rolled over completely. You'll see it on many of these altcoins that have this squeeze down here at this section. It's a ton of altcoins in here with this squeeze down here at this section, looking for a break to the upside. And I shared with you, like if they had it more than once, they were very successful with it when they did get the breakout. But yeah, I'm still holding this one. I'm not going to drop this one right here. Unless it gets real bad. I get liquidated at $6. It's a 3x leverage trade, and I will get liquidated on it at $6. So not that price can't get down to the $6. Am I using my liquidation as my stop loss? No, I'm not. I'm not. So if this one starts to look crappy, I will let it go. But right now we're still holding through here, and that's a good thing. That'll apply with any of the other ones too. But this is the one I know that I opened up on and share it with you is taking a risk on AVAX in here. So I really hope AVAX plays out. I don't want to do a walk of shame or a video of shame talking about how AVAX didn't work out. But anything can happen. So I understand it's more of an investment right now. Even though I'm using leverage on it, it's more of an investment right now than it is me looking for a short-term swing in here. I'm looking for something a little bit more off of this play. So still holding onto that. But it's time for me to, yeah, you can see it. We haven't really gotten anywhere. We haven't really gotten anywhere in here. Oh, how did Ethereum end up doing? It's probably going to be better if I see it from my other time frame. I do want to see how Ethereum ended up doing in here. That's that low right there, I think. This is just the like I said, it moved up really fast through this area right here. It have to come down just as fast, so it will chop around in here a little bit. It would chop around in here. I'm gonna short if we come up here. I'm telling you, I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna risk it, and I'm gonna take a short. But luckily, you know, the little scalp, intended scalp position is still holding on right there. Weekly. Let me see what Ethereum ended up doing. Let me turn that off. Okay. I'm just not actually paying attention to this with this ribbon on right here because I never had the ribbon on with it before. I when I mapped out Ethereum, I only looked at VWAP in this case, but I can see something right here now. Take away the draw. I can see that whenever it got down here, it held and it held right there. So it didn't, well, it repeated what it did back here by holding onto this white line. I'd never looked at that before until just now. I mapped it around VWAP as in price action dropping back down to VWAP. Maybe that's not a thing. That was the next option on it. If let's see. Be nice if it just tapped there one more time and then turned up. You end up with the inverse head and shoulder. You can't see it on price action, but you can definitely see it right here. That would be nice. If that's gonna be the holding factor. Let me see, because I know we're in this area right here where I thought that low was a good buy. I bought it there and then I sold it and said I was going to wait for Ethereum to come back down here again. I thought maybe Ethereum would get into this VWAP right here. I thought this VWAP right here. But now I'm seeing that white line from that moving average. That might be the thing right there. So it's 1937. Maybe it doesn't leave that. I mean, I use the trend line here as well. The trend line, because the trend line at least won't move on me. The moving average will. That trend line, like, yeah, definitely in support area for Ethereum. But you could, like I said, you could end up getting the inverse head and shoulder. Got one right here, too. Inverse, right here. It looks just like it, don't it? One drop right here, one drop right there. Left shoulder, head right here to the moving average, head right there into the moving average. And then you put in your right shoulder and off to the races. That would be nice. That would be nice. You can see it a lot clearer now. That's interesting though. Despite that That does look different right here, but despite that, it might still work out. It might still work out. Hmm. Hopefully it does. I would like to get that one more tap, and then I'll jump back into that one, and then just let me look at this right here. Um, Whenever Solana breaks out of this, just like Bitcoin did, but it was a sweep for Bitcoin. Well, actually, Bitcoin did get a closure above it and then retrace back inside of it. But whenever it does, it's going to be an explosive move. It's going to be an explosive move. I don't think this is needed anymore because it did flip it. Well, at least it closed above it and then it couldn't hold it at this little VWAP in here for Solana. And this is all time historical VWAP for Solana. And this one worked out perfectly with the momentum, the swing failure, the SFP. That one worked out perfectly all around. The drop into the level right here, which is, it's not a lot to look at. It's just, yeah, it's just this low over here, indicating that it could, now you could put in some bullish divergence where price action makes a low and then your oscillator doesn't and still manage to get a drop down lower in price. So I just repeated myself double times when I said that it can do that. So just bear that in mind. But that was a great swing failure. Swing failure. And I'm repeating myself again. That was pretty good there on Solana. Let me see. I just want to see one other thing. I just want to see if it is baking. It's baking right here for sure. Just like the rest of the altcoins, where you got that squeeze on the weekly, which requires a push to the upside. But where it happens, it's really, you don't know. And that was the other time it got it. And given that with that low, I don't know. I would still be, yeah, when this breaks out, it's going to go. Oh, let me try something else. Let me see what it looks like right here. It's starting to squeeze. It's starting to squeeze in here. So it won't be too much longer. A couple of weeks maybe. I mean, like this went on for a while right here. But if you play that strat here, RSI, you can see it had a failed attempt right there. You can see it. It failed right there. And then this time it gives it to you. So if you play that, if you see that and you get a chance to play that strategy, do that. I'm going to do that myself. Once this squeezes in here a little bit more, When I do start to see that, like we're not at it right now because again, it requires this to be closer to this top side and RSI around that meet the center line. Um, that breakout strategy is amazing. I would have to see that. I will take an entry then. I don't want to play this chop on Solana. I don't even want to take any chances on it because it's still, even though it's squeezing, it could still break down into here. It's rejecting around this VWAP anyway. Prior highs. Or maybe just draw out this one right here. I will keep my eyes on that. For that to happen, that's going to be amazing. Because like I said, in order for this break, in order for that color and that green coloring to go away, it has to push above the 20 SMA. And just so, I mean, I had the Bollinger Band on. I'd just rather do it without the Bollinger Band. Hold on, I might put it in 20. Put it in 20. It has to break above the 20 SMA. And right now the 20 SMA is sitting where? Oh, it's right here at it. Yeah, it has to break above this 20 SMA. So I hope that it doesn't do it right now. I hope that that squeeze pronounces itself a lot more. And then I see something down here that makes sense. Because if it does get like a big push to the upside, it'll invalidate any bear div that we're seeing currently, which is against this high right here, which is simply all that is, against that high. Yeah, that's it. I'm running late. I was supposed to be somewhere to pick somebody up at 7 o'clock, and I'm not there. I'm still at home at 7 o'clock. I'm going to be in some steep trouble. So, love you guys. Appreciate you. I'm sorry I didn't look at, if I don't know, if people don't usually talk to me sometimes. Oh, why Crypto YT? You are here talking to me. Hi. Hi, and see you later. You probably already gone now. Oh my gosh. WHN9 USDT dominance 3-day falling wedge. USDT dominance on a 3-day. Oh yeah, I mean, even if you're looking at it from the daily time frame, same scenario. USDT dominance. Even if you're looking at it from this daily time frame. But yeah, I feel you. Even if you're looking at it, like it's the same, that structure right there. But we're still hitting, like we still got some resistance through here. Yeah, I pity us if it does actually get that breakthrough and push through here. I pity us if that does happen. But it has been holding down so far. But